Okay, hello everyone, this is Ken. Today I'm gonna introduce my first 2D tutorial based on an artist recreation. Basically, I'm gonna use some simple techniques like instant sobs and chops. The artist I choose for this project is called Mark Bradford, who is based in Los Angeles in California. The subject I found it interesting to recreate from Mark's work is his unique way of expression on urban cities. So for this project, I'm going to do the recreation on his patterns on the paintings, as well as to create a simple real-time interaction on the pattern using the mouse hover effect. So here are some examples I picked from his collection for the style analysis. So most of his work really portrayed the city itself, as well as developing a grid and recalling the energetic and often frenzied the topology of a city map. Here is the example I recreate through the TOUCHDesigner. So basically, I used box SOP with grid instance into the geometry and use mouse chop to control the parameters of the noise, which shows the variation on the texture, as well as the complicated mosaic pattern that shows in Mark's painting. Moving back to how I approached this all, so basically I used box SOP and grid SOP, which will instance to the geometry, and combining different types of noise SOP together to generate more sensory layer and showing different scales of rectangles in kind of a three-dimensional perspective. One other important thing here is to apply the material to the geometry to constitute the geometric shapes, which is also the notable characteristic of Mark's work, with rectangles and no. So I'm gonna start with creating a SOP box here. And then add a grid SOP. So in this case, I'm gonna transform the grid to the shape, to the size of my shape. I add a copy here because I also want to show more layers to overlapping together that demonstrate more three-dimensional looking. The number of copies here is 5 to 6. Numbers of copies like over the 6 to 7 will be the things will be really disordered and kind of hard to see, as we are also gonna add 2 more noises stops here. Now I'm gonna add 2 noise with different types. The first one would be the random to control the scale of the rectangle or the box. So for the second one, you choose the different type called Herminate, which will be controlled by the mouse chop. And for the parameters, just make sure not to be too extensive. Just kind of subtle pattern. Then add the attribute create here. Then just do the regular process of rendering, add a geometry, light, and camera. After creating the basic rendering work, I'll do the process of instancing. To begin with, just transform the box to the smaller size and add more rows and columns on the grid to nearly 100 and 100. Then turn on the instancing of the geometry, reference with the instance sub here. Then we got the basic texture. Then moving on to the next process of creating the material. I will combine the noise and the rectangle together, really trying to create a mosaic effect. For the operation of composite, just try to choose the burn linear. Then go to material menu and choose the foam material. Then reference both the color map and normal map. Then we complete the visual part after applying materials on it. For the chops here, I basically add the mouth in and add the mask to it, and reference them to the parameters of noise too. Otherwise, for make the noise top to movable, I also insert the music file input into the translate Z of the noise, making it reflect with the motion of the entire shape. Now we got all of the stuff already for the top and sub part, so next step is to add the top part here. We begin with just add RGB key. Then create a composition here. We're gonna combine the displays and the picture of the city map. I'll insert the movie file in and select the image file from my Mac. Then insert a displays operator. Displays the movie file and RGB key. Finally, composite displays movie file and RGB all together, and for the operation, we choose the minimum. Add the city map in laying in our mosaic shape. I also changed the display's weight to 0.2. And because in this case the shape will become more abstract looking, more approachable to the artist's work. The last step is to add an RGB delay from the palette, and then change the parameter of the blue delay to 1 and others become 0, and add some ramp with the luma blur. Combine this all together with the lens distort, and we complete.